Yoga. You hear that word everywhere, right? But how did an ancient spiritual path that was all about liberating the soul turn into a multi-billion-dollar wellness industry? Well, today, we're going to peel back the layers on yoga's incredible and kind of wild transformation.
I mean, just think about it for a second. You see it all over your social media, in fancy athletic wear stores, there's a studio on pretty much every corner. Modern yoga isn't just a workout. It's a huge commercial machine, a cornerstone of the entire global wellness movement.
But to really get how we got here, we've got to go way, way back. We need to look at the original blueprint because, trust me, the yoga that's so popular today is a whole different beast from what it was first designed to be.
All right, so let's dive into that ancient spiritual blueprint. We're going straight to the source, a foundational text called Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, which basically lays out the whole original philosophy.
Okay, this one line is basically the whole definition. And notice what it doesn't say. Anything about toned abs or being super flexible? Nope. The main goal was all mental. It was a discipline for quieting the constant noise in our heads to find some real inner peace.
And this wasn't just a vague idea. It was a whole system, a step-by-step, eight-limbed path. And look at this. The physical poses we all know as asana, that's just number 3 on the list. It was just one small piece of a much, much bigger spiritual puzzle that involved ethics, breathing, meditation, the whole shebang.
And the ultimate prize? The whole point of this 8-limbed journey? It wasn't about a great beach body. It was moksha, a state of total spiritual freedom, of breaking free from what they called samsara, this endless cycle of birth, death, and suffering.
So that brings us to the million-dollar question. How on earth did this deep, complicated spiritual system get boiled down into the fitness-first practice we see everywhere today?
Well, a huge transformation happened. The focus did a complete 180. The purpose shifted from spiritual freedom to physical wellness. The key practices got narrowed down from this whole system to mainly just the physical postures, and the whole context changed from a sacred tradition to a secular commercial product for the Western market.
And let's be real, this wasn't an accident. This simplification was, strategic. The deep spiritual and philosophical stuff was kind of stripped away to make yoga easier to digest, and, more importantly, easier to sell, to a Western audience that was more focused on physical health. It became a way better product, but it also became something completely different.
But here's the thing. Savvy marketing isn't the whole story. The reason it exploded in popularity also has a lot to do with the quirky, predictable ways our own minds work. We were basically psychologically primed to fall in love with this new version of yoga.
So why did we all just accept it so easily? Even smart, critical thinkers? Well, the answer lies in our own mental shortcuts. These things called cognitive biases. And they played a massive role in how fast it spread.
First up, we've got one we all know, the bandwagon effect. This thing created a powerful social wave that was just really hard to resist.
Think about it. As soon as celebrities started doing it, it got this halo of prestige. It gave people a sense of community. And the more people jumped on board, the stronger the pull became. It just turned into this self-feeding trend that was almost impossible to ignore. Next, you've got the halo effect. This bias is fascinating. It basically made the entire philosophy seem legit just because one part of it, the physical part, felt so undeniably good.
So here's how it works in your brain. You do the physical practice, and wow, you feel amazing. Less stressed, more flexible. That good feeling creates a halo that spreads to everything else. You start thinking, hey, if the stretching part is this good for me, maybe all that other stuff about karma and liberation is true too.
Then, confirmation bias swoops in to lock in those good feelings and new beliefs.
Once you decide you're a yoga person, your brain goes on a mission to prove you made the right choice. You start noticing all the articles about yoga's benefits, you share positive stories, and you conveniently ignore anything that criticizes it. It's like creating your own little echo chamber.
And finally, there's cognitive dissonance. This one is all about justifying the time, the effort, and the money that modern yoga can demand. I mean, if you're spending hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars on classes and gear, it feels kind of weird to think it might just be a form of exercise. So to get rid of that uncomfortable feeling, your brain helps you out. You start to embrace the deeper philosophy, elevating the whole thing into a profound spiritual journey that totally justifies the investment.
So after this long journey, Simplification, commercialization, and our own brains helping it along, where are we now? Well, we're left with this huge disconnect.
What we've got now are two completely different things that just happen to share the same name. On one hand, you have the ancient, deep, spiritual system with the goal of liberation. And on the other, you've got a modern fitness industry that's all about physical wellness and selling you stuff.
And this leads to a really powerful concluding thought from the source material. This quote basically says that if you strip away the logical and scientific parts, yoga philosophy is at risk of just becoming another mystical belief system without any real foundation. So the very simplification that made it so popular also opens it up to some serious questions about its integrity.
And that really leaves us with a final big question to chew on. When we take an ancient spiritual practice and turn it into a global product, what's the trade-off? Sure, we gain accessibility, it becomes popular, but what essential truths might get lost along the way?